And thank you very much for staying with us here on Joy News at 8. Fire this morning got to the car garage, consuming at least 6 sports utility vehicles, including an Infiniti and Land Rover. Had it not been the timely intervention of residents, the flames would have consumed about 30 more cars rescued from the flames. It took over an hour and a half for the fire service to respond to calls.
It is yet to be established how the fire started, but witnesses sourced it to a nearby shop where air conditioners are sold and repaired. The shop was completely burnt out. One witness said the fire started as early as 7 a.m.
I realized the fire was coming from this very shop. It was very little. So the boys around started, I think the car shop even is not open. So the taxi rang, the drivers have to dismantle the wire gauze to get the cars out. So the fire was very little. Before we realized, it was very alarming. And we were all saying, won't fire service people come and help? And before the fire service people come, all these 6 cars was already burnt.
The highly flammable gases used in the air-conditioned shop is said to have fuel to the flames. The devastated garage owner, Nanayao, expressed frustration about how long it took the fire service to respond.
We need to drive to the fire tenders at Nungwa. We're calling, nobody was picking. So the guys also have to drive to try the fire tenders to Nungwa. We got one fire service came from Nungwa, and then later we got one, I think he's coming from Accra. So there were 2 tenders which came, but they were very late. The neighborhood did their human job, they did very well, but the fire tenders got in very late.
The destruction could have been a whole lot more had it not been the intervention of some young men in the area who managed to save some of the vehicles. They also claimed credit for putting out the fire and supplied footage to prove their claims that the fire service arrived after the flames had died out. The fire officer in charge, however, refused to respond, claiming he was not mandated to speak on such incidents. Joy News has learned the vehicles did not have any insurance cover.
Now, Ghanaians like myself have been brought up to frown on certain acts in society, one of which is abortion. This is because the act is mostly considered as murder. But some, in circumstances such as rape, incest, and health risk, the law considers abortion as a legal option for the pregnant woman, but it must be conducted by doctors in approved health facilities. Joining us today went out to sort the views of men on abortion.
A religious man, I don't agree or support the idea of abortion.
It is bad, it is dangerous, religiously, culturally, economically. So therefore, let ladies be sensitized and so that they desist from the act of aborting.
I believe that on certain grounds, maybe one might have to undertake it.
When you do away with any abortion or any fetus, then it means that you've done away with a human being. So for me, I think abortion is not good.
If, for instance, the person who is involved in this act was raped, was defiled, and as a result of that, the person has become pregnant, that sort of pregnancy cannot be accepted. So that aspect of abortion is supposed to be legalized. But where, it has to do with the fact that the person deliberately engages in sexual act and has become pregnant and wants to abort such a pregnancy, I don't think that kind of abortion should be encouraged at all.
Should the worst happen that I should allow, and that the Lord himself will ask me to allow it, in that case I'll accompany my wife. We have a local balance that if you have a pot and then the water pours, it's better that way than getting the pot broken, because if the water pours, you can go back and fetch. Yes, so if my wife, and for on health grounds, she needs to undertake her abortion, I think I will support it.
I don't think I will follow my wife to the medical or maybe to the hospital to go and do an abortion. I don't think I will do that.
And it's now time for the business report. Minister for Lands and Natural Resources is calling for a review of the country's mining laws to impose tougher sanctions on galamsey operators and foreigners who engage in small-scale mining. The canker of illegal mining has degraded several acres of land in mining communities as well as polluted water bodies. Mike Allenhammer called for a concerted effort from all stakeholders to join the fight against the practice.
The laws, I would say, to some extent, are a little bit regressive and deficient. There are laws that we think that if they are enforced, the problem is the enforcement of the existing law. I'm sure if the laws are enforced, at least to a very large extent, we'll be able to reduce this incidence of galamsey. So I'm saying, moving forward, the laws have to be uniform. There has to be some consolidation of the fragmented laws. Currently, you know that they're having a validation workshop on the draft mining policy. When that is concluded, we'll take a look at the entire legal and regulatory environment.
Officials from the Mineral Commission, the EPA, the Water Resources Commission and the Lands Ministry at the workshop in Accra identified the proliferation of galamsey operators and the engagement of foreigners in small-scale mining as one major setback confronting the country's mining sector.
Mining has potential to generate positive benefits, but at the same time has potential to wreak havoc if not managed properly. Unfortunately, the illegal aspects of it, because they are in a hurry to do it and get away before court, they are not careful in doing it to take precautions to protect life, the environment and everybody else. They are only interested in quickly taking out the resource and going away, and that's the unfortunate part of it. And therefore, indeed, they don't pay anything to government. Government gets, and the people of Ghana get almost nothing from it except for those who actually engage in it. And that's why it's so bad when it is foreigners doing it.
In 2011, export revenue from the mineral sector amounted to over $5 billion. The sector is also said to have employed over 1 million people while contributing 7% to the country's gross domestic product. But for government stakeholders, the successes chalked in the mining sector could have real impact on the livelihood of residents of mining communities if the challenges associated with environmental degradation and water pollution as a result of galamsey operations are addressed.
To deal with this problem is a multi-pronged approach, cross-sectorial, intersectorial, intra-agency approach, and also continuous engagement of the stakeholders. For example, the chiefs, the traditional authorities, the metropolitan, municipal and justice assemblies also have a key role to play because most of these things happen on their land.
To address the challenges of illegal mining, officials are seeking to create district mining officers of the Mineral Commission to facilitate the licensing and monitoring of small-scale mining activities while advocating for a review of the mineral laws.
Financial experts say microfinance is a powerful tool to alleviate poverty, while gender activists also argue that microfinance is a means of empowering women economically. However, strings attached to microfinance make it less attractive to applicants. In this report, our Bono Hafo regional correspondent examines the impact of microfinance on the economy of the region.
The concept of microfinance is not new in Ghana. Traditionally, people have saved with and taken some loans from individuals and groups within the context of self-help to start businesses. The first credit union in Africa was established in northern Ghana in 1955 by Canadian Catholic missionaries. Susu, which is one of the current microfinance methodologies, is thought to have originated from Nigeria and spread to Ghana in the early 90s. Microfinance has gone through 4 distinct phases. The microfinance sector in Ghana comprises 4 types of institutions such as formal suppliers, semi-formal, informal suppliers as well as public sector programs. Clients of microfinance in the Brown Ahafo region are predominantly women engaged in activities such as farming, food processing, petty trading, service provision and street vending. Small businesses in the Brown Ahafo with microfinance support have also grown into medium enterprises, creating employment opportunities for others. This notwithstanding, some dubious people have infiltrated the system, defrauding unsuspected victims. Beneficiaries of microfinance sector in the region have also complained of high interest rates ranging between 4 and 10%. Kate Ade and Eja Wusu are traders who spoke with Joy News.
Interest are not that. In fact, scan poe no na msika nyina ahye first no de na me hu ni say na interest no e wo fon kama nti eja wuji a wo de beda da so a wo be wie na chese wanya ba bia kwaje ye no na wanya kakra na de tro dwedie so na ese de ma hu ni say interest na abasoro nti ko kwaje kra na chese sa ya imhihie.
The Sunyani branch of Jobs Financial Services, Niba Bano, noted that microfinance in Bron Ahafo has helped to build the capacity of clients in the areas of loan management, customer care, pricing, marketing and selling, among others. He therefore advised prospective clients to be cautious about the kind of service providers they engage.
My advice would be for everyone, I mean the market women especially, watch out where you save. Ask if they are under Bank of Ghana. Registered on a Bank of Ghana is very important.
The director of Excel United Microfinance, David Bafo Kwabna, explained that the potential economic benefits of sustainable microfinance in the region is compelling, cautioning that it calls for a holistic approach to facilitate the development of the microfinance subsector potential for accelerated growth and development.
Most of our Ghanaian businessmen and women do not have the criteria to be able to get facility to support their businesses. Therefore, it has been necessary that the microfinance businesses should be established so that we can help these local people, and for that matter, our economy should be improved.
Nesta Kafui Ajoma's report for Joy News.
Members of the public who had their monies locked up with Onward Investments, a firm that promised its clients fantastic returns on their deposits, may as well forget about getting those monies back. Though the Bank of Ghana says it is seeking clarification on a court's decision ordering it to return the depositors' monies, it says there isn't much of that to go round.
Central Bank explains it has been able to identify assets amounting to a mere fraction of the total deposits the company's clients say has been invested. This acting governor, Dr. Kofi Wampa, says makes it nearly impossible to split amongst the clients who have so far come to stake their claims. The Bank of Ghana earlier this year stopped the operations of Onward Investment for engaging in illegal online foreign exchange trading. Dr. Wampa says additional measures have been introduced to curb similar schemes in the future. It is believed hundreds of clients, including professionals and executives in some of the country's most prestigious institutions, invested hundreds of thousands of dollars with a promise they would receive fantastic returns.
And that's it for the business report. Up next is Showbiz. But first, let me give you some smart investment tips.
there. My name is Rashidat Kadiri with the latest in the world of sports. Striker Eric Bequin has signed for Brokum Chelsea on a free transfer. The 25-year-old inked a 2-year contract with the dethroned Ghana Premier League champions today for an undisclosed fee. Bequin was crowned Ghana Premier League Best Player in 2007 during his stint with Kumasi Asante Kotoko. He parted ways with Egyptian side Petrogé last month after spending 3 years with the Swiss-based side. Now to some boxing news, and Azuma Nelson has been named one of 12 greatest boxers of all time by the World Boxing Council. The 3-time world champion in 2 weight classes will be honored in an event which will be used to raise funds for retired boxers who are facing economic hardships in the USA in a few weeks.
Boxing legend is regarded as the best boxer Africa has ever produced. Azuma Nelson is a former 2-time WBC super featherweight and WBC featherweight champion. He quit the boxing profession some 15 years ago and is very honored that the World Boxing Council has named him one of the 12 greatest boxers of all time.
Well, I feel good so far as Ghanaians were here and Africa were here and they'll be happy. I'm happy.
Okay, so what does this accomplishment mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. It means that what I came to this world to do, I've done my best. And so I'm happy that something like this has happened.
The 54-year-old currently runs a gym in his Achimota residence and hopes to continue nurturing and developing boxing talents. The boxing professor has declared he will produce the nation's next set of boxing world champions from the current crop of boxers he has in his gym.
So far as the boys are here, they will be world champions because you see, whatever you do and you do it well, you can get where you want to get. And it's like they are here because I'm telling you they will be a world champion because this is boxing and I'm boxing. So when they are doing something wrong, I know that no, this move is not good for you, so I can change the move for you so that you can be the champion.
Now, before I bring you the latest result in the UEFA Champions League, the much anticipated pre-season friendly between bitterest rivals Hartsfield and Asante Kotoko has been called off by organizers Proton Sports. The match was scheduled for this Sunday at the Babayawa Stadium in Kumasi.
And Kotoko were looking forward to and preparing feverishly for the one-day match, but were greeted with disappointment yesterday after organizers cancelled the game. Chief Executive Officer of Proton Sports, Keto Kuriku, explains to Joy Sports the rationale behind the cancellation of Sunday's fixture, which was expected to climax the preseason activities of the two teams.
The Galka had a planned tournament, the usual Galka Top 4. Unfortunately, they had by then not secured a sponsor, and therefore they were also struggling to keep the competition going, and that kept us not being able to confirm the date for this particular encounter. Once Gaka announced the cancellation of their top 4, then we had space to put forward this game. So the announcement actually came in late, and MTN were not too happy, and therefore they pulled out.
The former Galka Administrative Secretary is hoping to make it up to the two teams who are currently disappointed at the turn of events by fixing another date in the coming months.
Particular reference to the Super 2, we are looking at the possibility of exploring the 5 weeks that the league will go on break in January for the Nations Cup. Preferably a day when the Black Stars will not be on duty, and then we will have the chance of staging that encounter. But primarily, the essence of this is to have a game of this nature played before the commencement of the season, where the two teams would use the platform to showcase their newly acquired players, etc. We hope that we could fit this in again for the second transfer window.
Both teams have lined up friendlies to fill the void that has been created, with Kotoko taking on Premier League returnees King Faisal, while Hartsfield take on city rivals Liberty Professionals.
And just before I go, results coming in from the UEFA Champions League: Real Madrid 3, Man City 2, and Arsenal went away to Montpellier to beat them by a goal to 2. And then it's AC Milan 0, Anderlecht 0. We'll be back with more in our subsequent sports bulletin. Coming up next is international news. Good evening.
And thank you very much for staying with us here on Joy News at 8. It's been a real pleasure having you for company. My name is Evans Mensah. Join us again at 11 for our late news.